Please welcome one of the producers of the film, Grace Zhou. Grace, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this film with us. I'll ask a few questions. I have a lot of questions, but I want the audience to get some questions too. So let me start by asking this is based on a true story, as we really saw from the end. What inspired the director to make this film? How did he develop it? Tell us a little bit of the origins of the film.
Okay, so actually, what the footages we've seen in the end of the film, that's all the inspiration source. So the China's Got Talent show was very, very popular back in 2010. And at that time, like everyone's been watching it. So Director Zhang Wei happened to watch this video one late very evening. And then he got very much enlightened and inspired. Because according to him, so he used to believe like blind people, they can work as like massagers or fortune tellers, but he couldn't imagine they are actually very talented in singing. So he got very much inspired, and then he decided to fly to Tibet, make friends with these teachers and students in blind school, and that's how he started to work with writers for making this film project. And that's really what happened from the very beginning. So it's all started from the talent show.
And tell me a little bit about the process of the making. I understand some of the kids in the film actually are blind, and can you tell us a little bit about the casting and the process?
Oh, yeah, sure. So in terms of the first half of the film, so we shoot all the Tibetan scenes in the real fields of Tibet. So they were not shot in studios. They were not special effects. I mean, when you see mountains, they're real mountains. Yes. And also, when it comes to casting, so Director Zhang, we really want to get, authentic performance. So when the blind school teachers and students heard that Mr. Zhang Wei is going to make a film about their previous odyssey, so they basically volunteered. So they say, we are interested in acting as well. We've never done it before. So would you please consider us? And Mr. Zhang Wei took this chance. So there are the principal, he's the real teacher, and then there were two leading boy in the film, like the guiding boy and the massage boy. So they are the real blind students, and they did it pretty sincerely, and so that's quite a good turnout.
It's wonderful. How was it received in China? Did it have a full release? Tell us about some of the reactions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very happy to share this. So back home in China, so last November, our film won a very big award. So there's a Chinese International Film Festival, and we were granted. So this film was granted the Best Feature Film by international juries. And also, beyond China, so this is our USA premiere, and the film has been, thank you.
That's also, we're applauding ourselves here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you are the first. You are the first group of people. These film festival audiences are the first group of people to watch it. Across the whole country. And beyond that, I mean, yeah, we've received invitations from more than 20 film festivals. I mean, in Asia, in Australia, and in Europe. So we are very proud of it. Yeah. So.
Wonderful. One last question before I hand the microphone over to some people from the audience. That's your cue. The music in the film. Tell us a little bit about the music. How did they choose the music? Who wrote it? A little bit about the music process.
Yeah, I would be very happy to share that. So the film music has so much to do with American artists. So our film music composer is Mr. Peter Golub. So he's a LA-based musician, and he's also the music program director of Sundance Film Festival. So he happened to watch, some clips of the films back in 2 years ago, and he liked the film very much, and then he volunteered to write the music for us. But of course, I mean, he's American and he's never been to Tibet. So in the very beginning, he did encounter many difficulties of coming up with Tibetan music. So later on, we sent him many Tibetan folk songs and music for reference, and he really studied very hard and based on his professionalism and his talents and experience. So that turned out to be, what we've heard, the ballads in this film. And yeah, again, we tribute, these also to Mr. Golub, as a very wonderful musician in USA. Yes.
Fabulous. We'd love to take some questions, comments, share with us from the audience some of your reactions.
I think all of us have the same question. What happened to the boy who had the eye surgery?
Okay, I'm very happy to take this one.
No, I just want to ask one other thing as well. And who was the young girl who did the singing? Was that an actress, or was she in fact singing?
Okay, so for the boy had the operation, yes. I mean, we want to indicate by smiling on his face and the voiceover, like now everyone's realized the dream, and I just want to take them back. Yes, I mean that indicate his eye will be recovered. Yeah. So actually, we have a longer version of the film, and then in the end, that shows, the boy, he drives the cart again with his folks and back home. So that has like a clearly ending, but yeah. And also for the girl, as you mentioned, you want to, so what was your question again?
Was she really singing? Who?
Oh yeah, she is a young actress. Yeah, she's not blind. She's a young actress, and the song were not sung by her. It was by someone else. But yeah, she was performing. But those songs were authentic Tibetan songs. Yeah, very famous.
At what age are you allowed to drive one of those carts in Tibet? And how good does your vision actually have to be? I'm joking. Don't answer that.
I know.
It's, any other question? We have one right up here. Just if you could take the microphone from somebody. Oh.
Sorry, I'll just get back. Hi, I'm a filmmaker out of NYU Film School, undergrad. So I just have a very simple question. How long was the production of the film? The shooting process.
The shooting took about 2 months. Yeah, so we shoot the first half in Tibet, and then the whole crew, basically, you remember the flying scene, like we're so high up. So how do we do that? So after we finish the shooting in Tibet, we rent the whole airplane, and then the whole crew team were on the airplane. That's how we got to shoot, the up in the air scenes. And then we got in Shenzhen, so then we did the second half. And that was like, very chronicle, and yeah, that's how it happened. It took 2 months, but post-production takes a much longer time, as you understand. Yeah.
Question over here.
你好，我是 Ariam. I had a lot of fun watching this film because China holds a special place in my heart. I lived there for about 6 months, and so thank you for bringing this to us here in the States. I wanted to know a little bit about the perception of people in China who don't speak, who don't hear, and who also don't see. So can you talk a little bit about that?
So actually, I believe if the director were here, or if some of our script writers were here, they were more capable of answering this question. Because when we were writing the scripts, they did a lot of like, observations and field studies in blind school, and they did understand, how they see and how they, perceive things. So I'm sorry, I mean, for me, so basically I wasn't in that phase, so I couldn't totally speak for that. But again, I kind of feel like things been changing a lot in China because the economy development, and because the government's being more like, supportive, for the minority groups. So people really, they are getting more opportunities. And I want to mention, I mean, not they are getting more, but not as many as minority groups here. But I believe we are making good progress, and we'll get there.
I will note, one of the things I think our committee liked about the film is that we often get submission. There are those films about disabilities that kind of take the pity approach, and we felt that this was not one of those. This is a film that actually was making a very clear statement against the pity approach and trying to say no, they want to be up there for their music, not to be pitied as blind people. And I'm guessing that's based on my seeing a few other Chinese films dealing with disability. That's somewhat progressive of an approach.
Totally, you totally got it. Yes, I mean, our director and producer totally treat them as normal people. They are fun-loving, and sometimes, they fight, and sometimes they cry together, and they work together. They fear as much as we do, and they joy as much as we do. So yeah, we are just different, in different ways, and we are also similar because we are human.
I just wanted to make a comment. There's a line, I'm hopeless at remembering exactly the words, but there's a line in the film where it says too much sympathy is the same as prejudice, and you had me then, when I saw that and I heard that, I thought, yes, they totally get it. It's kind of obvious, but it's really great to see it there because it really just makes you think. It's the same, too much sympathy is the same as prejudice. It's great. I don't know if that's exactly the line, but
Exactly, that's the
Yeah.
punchline. That's
Yeah.
the punchline of the film.
it's the heart of it for me. I loved it.
Pass the microphone to Simi here.
I thought somebody else I'm related to in the audience might ask this question, which it's an inside joke. Was the film audio described for blind audiences in China, and how was it received by adults from the blind community?
I'm not sure. I totally understand, your question. Would you please just help me better, answer it? Yeah, if you can reframe it.
Can I first of all, so this film tonight, the festival created audio description for this film so the blind community can appreciate it. Was the blind community able to see this, view this film?
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, we are working on it. Yeah, so we understand when it comes to the market distribution. So we are when we were targeting the mass audience, then there was nothing need to be done. But I mean, not only for this film festival, but also we talked to some film distributors, and they did suggest that. And I think we'll get there in the next coming months. And we do want the special community people to be able to enjoy it and just to get inspired.
Did the School for the Blind get to view the film?
Oh yeah, of course. We screened. So actually, the Chinese premiere of this film were done in Lhasa, Tibet, because that's where the film got started. So that's how we planned for it.
And they saw it without any kind of aids to get them to be able to follow. They were only hearing.
Yeah, at that time, no. But just because, the blind school teachers and students, they were participating in the filmmaking. So they were very much aware of the story, and they were just excited to say, oh, that's me. And that's me. So this is very joyful process for them. Yeah. So I'm not talking about a big population of the blind people in Lhasa CNET, but just special screening for our for our folks back there.
Great. We have time for 2 more questions.
What stays with me is that it was a long film, very beautifully visual, and yet the message, to me, the main message was so condensed that she wouldn't perform if her whole team wasn't part of it. That it can't be just one person succeeding. And it's interesting how condensed that the presentation of that message was. That impressed me very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, as she mentioned, she's like, oh, we were like the cattle, we were like the cows. We must be together and not one to be left alone.
I was at first, there was a flip there in that with that statement because I at first, when she's saying, "Oh, we're like cows," I thought she was like, "Oh, this is like a bad thing," and then she actually meant it as a good thing. We are like cows. We need to stay together. One last question up there.
Hi, it was beautiful. Thank you. I wanted to know, after the festivals, do you think there's a good chance that maybe you'll be able to make it available to be seen, like, among other people, even if you, charge a fee and somebody buys it on, Amazon or somewhere else?
That's a very good question. We are working on it. So in Europe and in Asia, there are some distributors got interested with the film already. So they might want to distribute it in Germany or in South Korea. So again, as I'm saying, this is a USA premiere, and we've been getting very good advice since this film festival. And I know we are getting started to make the film travel further and to a larger audiences. And hopefully it's going to happen very soon. I mean, even on VOD, I think, yeah, we would willing to do that. But the first step is to get a film distributor.
Grace, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for coming. 2 more films left in this festival here. So we have at 8:30 we have Mind Over Matter in this room. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please do. And tomorrow night, closing night also, just a few tickets left. So please get them while you can. And please join us and help spread the word about ReelAbilities. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you so much.